before starting this video, I'm going to talk about the topics that we are going to cover in this video. The first topic will be shadow, and then it will be our perspective. Okay, so we are going to learn about how shadow is formed in an object. Like, for example, this is an object and this is the light source. So we will learn how the shadow of the object is formed. Okay, it is a very important topic that you should know, that how shadow and how much amount of shadow is formed in any kind of object. If I say this is an object, okay, and the light is over here, and now I want to present the shadow. Now from the shadow, the actual shadow will be something like this. Okay, but if I draw shadow something like this, but the light source is over here, the shadow is over here, now this is a wrong form of the shadow. If I do this way, this is also wrong. You should understand how the shadow is going to work in any kind of an object. If this is the depth, the shadow will be across this part. So we are going to learn about this, how shadow are formed in an object, in any kind of an object. Okay, so this is going to be our topic for today. Okay, so first of all, you should know, if you have not seen the earlier video, you can just go and see that video in which I have talked about shadows and all, shadows, light and shade and all. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video. This video is only for two things: shadow and perspective. We are going to talk about first and second perspective in this video. The major thing we will talk about is second perspective, because that is the most important right now for this topic. So let's begin the entire video for now. So if you don't know how two-point perspective works, I will just demonstrate a little bit over here how two-point perspective work in the theory itself. So for example, if this is your box, okay, and you are standing, this is a box, sorry, this is your page, whatever you can say, and what, you are standing over here, okay, like you are standing over here, and the sun is over here. In this portion the sun is, and so now you have to understand how the shadow is going to work. The shadow will be shifted this way, okay. But first I will tell you how two-point perspective works over here, okay. So two-point perspective, it is about 1 point and 2 point. So this point are connected with each other, guys. And if now I have to take any kind of object, okay, I'm just going to take it over here right now. So first we will connect these lines over here to here and here to here, okay. Then this and then this. So this is two-point perspective. But what happened if an object is over here? Okay, same goes the top, the bottom, same. Now depends. Okay, the object is if it is like going in this direction more. If this portion is the face of the object, you can go it like this. And remember one thing: these lines will always go straight. These lines, I will repeat again, these lines will always go straight. If one line is this and another line is certainly tilted a little bit, it will be not considered two-point perspective, okay. It will consider three-point perspective, okay. So whenever you are doing two-point perspective, the line should be straight, okay. Then you will connect this to this and this to this. Okay, so this is your two-point perspective. Okay, I will demonstrate with the help of scale. That will be much helpful to you guys. Okay, because right now I'm just drawing with my hand, so sometimes the line is going this. Okay, well, now when I'm going to draw this scale, the line will be straight forward, and you will understand it much more better two-point perspective. But I'm not going in entire two-point perspective, because this video is not about perspective, and this video is about shapes, shadow and perspective. Shadow with perspective, I'm sorry for that. Okay, so this is my 2 point. Okay, so this is second point and this is first point. It is also known as I point. Okay, this I point can be anywhere. Okay, right now I'm just giving you an example, so I'm just using the simplest form of perspective. It can be something like this as well, okay, or in this direction or in this kind of direction, whichever direction you want to take, it can be in that direction. But right now, as I don't want to go in that deep, I'm just taking a simple 2 point. I'm giving you a simple example with a straight line. Okay, so for example, now my object is over here. Sorry, my object is over here. Okay, so this is my object. Okay, so now the thing is, my object, I want to draw this object in, okay, you can see it over here, the object should be something like this. For example, not for example, it will be like this. Okay, so I want to draw this. Okay, so I will draw over here. So this point from this point you will connect to the top of the line from perspective. Okay, something like this. Same goes from here to here. Okay, so this now again from this point to the bottom point. Okay, now just draw a straight line over here. Okay, so it just tilted. It is just tilted because of me. I just tilted the line. I'm sorry for that. Okay, so okay, now this line is tilted. Wait, this line is tilted. Guys, my apologies to you guys. I messed up. Okay, and this. Okay, so now this point will be corrected, will be acknowledged over here because this is already connected. So this is free. This will be connected from over here. Okay, then this is not connected with this point, so this will connect over here. Okay, so this is your two-point perspective. I will give you an example from here, this point, from the below point as well. I have already given you an example in the straight line, so I'm not going to give you this. I'm going to draw it over here once, and I am thinking that I should draw a little bit big, and then I will go a little bit over here in this way. So the object will be slightly something like this. Okay, so this will be the object, kind of. Oh, I'm sorry, I just did it a little bit darker. I hope it is straight now, right now. Okay, same. I will touch over here, then this will touch over here again. Okay, this to this point. As I told you, this object is going to be big, so okay, so now I have got one object over here. Now it depends, I can do it shorter over here. So I'm just doing it a little bit shorter over here. Now this will connect over here because this have no end, like this is connected to this line. So now this will connect over here because it is not connected from this part. Okay, and this will connect over here because this is connected with this line right now, so it will connect over here. Alright. Okay, so this, right? And if I put a sun over here, alright, now this is my point. Okay, so this is sun. Okay, now this have to put the shadow over here. Okay, so now this, how it will put the shadow, how the sun is reacting, I will show you. Alright, it will be something like this. Okay, the shadow that will be represented with this will be something in this way. I will show you like over here, but right now you have to skip this part over here. So just erase this. So now you know how two-point perspective works. Now we will go for the shadow, and you will learn over there how object contains shadow with perspective, right? Yes. I don't know if you go with one-point perspective if you want. See, one-point perspective is simply there is one point, and the line goes with this point only. Not for example, I will show you. Just you can take over here something like this. Connect this to here. Then something, take it like this. First, down it will be something like this again. Then this thing will be connected over here. Something like this. Then this. Something like this. So this is your one-point perspective. Okay, so it is. It is not. The video is not about perspective, so we will just skip this out right now. If you want, I can teach perspective as well. Just let me know if you want. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how shadows and all are formed. Okay, so now the term for our video is shadow with perspective. Should I write it? SHAD. Okay, so this is your topic, shadow with perspective. Sorry for that, my pencil just broke. Okay, so as we know how shadow works, this is our object and this is light, so the shadow works like this. Now the thing is, how we know the shadow will be over here. Maybe the shadow can be over here, maybe the shadow can be over this direction. Why shadow is not over this direction, why it is over this direction, and why it is at a certain angle. Okay, so how should I tell you? Okay. If this is a point, okay, the sun where light is coming, okay, um, I should tell you a little bit about 3-point perspective, because if I draw it like this, I'm sorry for this, I just forgot to speak. Hello, I just forgot to speak. Guys, so this is my object over here. Sorry for the bad circle. Point, right? Now the sun is over here, as you know. Sun, the object. Okay. So this to here is our object length, right? So now when the sunlight comes from this angle, it is covering everything. Okay. So when this thing passes, the arc of third point will be point over somewhere. No, this thing will be a little bit tricky for you guys. So let me just show you another way of doing it that will be much more simpler to you. Just take an object. Okay, just forget this point right now. Okay, forget this thing. Okay, just okay. So this is your object. Okay, draw a line over your object. Okay, this is line. This is your circle. You know, every object have a line itself. If you remember in the earlier video, when I have talked about shadows, I have talked about that every object have an imaginary line that works. Okay, something like this. I have talked about in the other video which I have drawn like few weeks ago. So every object having an imaginary line. So if this line, okay, just take the center point over here. Now find the sun. Okay, what I mean by finding the sun is from which area the light is coming through. Like if this is circle, okay, the light is coming from this angle, so the sun might be over here, somewhere over here. This is the object. If the light is coming from this area, okay, the what I will say, the highlights, okay, the highlights is over here. The sun might be over in this angle somewhere, okay. So that's why the light is coming over here. As you can see, they're reflecting. This is my sun right now, imaginary sun, and you will see this little bit depth over here. Okay, so you can see. So like that, just take whichever angle the light is coming from here. So just imagine the light. Okay, so the light is coming from over here. So this is my sun. Okay, so this is the light. Now make a line like this. Okay, so now this is your first point. This is your second point. All right. Cut this thing like this. Simple. Now join this part, and this part to this part. Okay, and here is your light. Okay, I will show you this thing live right now. Okay, so I have a little bit of setup over here. Just I want to tell you that remember this thing before this video ever start. Remember, every object have a imaginary line that goes something like this. Okay. Okay, so just now leave this part. I will just focus over here. Okay, I hope you can see. Okay, so if you can see, right now the light is coming from this portion over here, but I will just close this light and I will show you with another light. You will understand it much better. Okay, so let me just close. Okay, so this is the sun right now over here. This is the object. Okay, so understand this. Over here to here. Okay, so it is gone too far. I'll just put it over here. Okay, so over here to here, you will just make a line. Okay, so the line will be something like this. Okay, so line will be something like this, and this will end over here. See, you are seeing the end of the scale. Okay, so the bumpy part I will keep over here. See, now you can see. Okay, so this is a shadow with perspective. If you learn this part over here, this thing is very important to understand how shadows and all are formed. If you will understand this simple fundamentals, you can create when you do like landscape or you go live and all, you can understand how shadows are created, and that will impact your videos or your work very much. Okay, if I turn this shadow over here, little bit over here, now the shadow will be changing. See, okay. Let me show you. See, it is connected over here. See over here. Okay, right now, see, it is just over here, and you can see how the shadow is moving. See, okay. See, it is not connected over here. See, when it is connected, they both have an equal. You can see. See, it is not connected over here. Let me connect this and this. Okay, so you can see. So, please, let me just. Okay, so where's the sun? Okay, this is the sun. Okay, so now also remember. Now shadow is not of black color actually. Okay, understand this thing. Shadow is never black color itself. Okay, shadow have its own colors. Those colors are reflected by the object itself. I can show you with this. Okay, see this. Okay, you can see it. Okay, you cannot see. Okay, wait. Let me change to here. Okay, so now you can see a little bit reddishness over here. You can see red a little bit. If you can see, please let me know in this video, because right now I can see with my phone. If you are unable to see, please let me know. I will. Okay, see over here as well. You can see a little bit redness. Okay, so this is the shadow is always formed by the color itself. Okay, so if I will put yellow over here, it will also create yellow shadow. See over here also. The paper is, that's why I have used a white paper to tell you that shadow have its own color. Shadow is that what people do. People make shadow with black color. Okay, shadow is not of black color. Shadow is always from the color the object is. Okay, so if you can see over here, over this portion a little bit over here, you can see a little bit reddish yellow because of the heat of the color right now. Okay, so it is a little bit reddish, but it is yellowish, orangish, or a little bit orange itself in this yellow. But over here, when you see this in this portion, you can see, oh shit, I'm sorry. Please stable. Okay, so you can see over here. So it is yellow. The shadow of the object is yellow itself. Okay, so just remember this part. Whenever you draw shadow, the shadow is not of black color. Okay, the shadow always will be to the color of the object itself. Like if I will put another color over here, if I doesn't have any other ball right now, if I will choose another object with, oh shit, I cannot even see the shadow right now. Like this I can see. Can I show you a little bit? Nah, I cannot show you. Sorry. So beyond the perspective, this is also important thing to learn, that shadow is always of the color the object is. You can now see. You can see over here it is a reddish color. This is white. It is going blue because of the paper and the light. Okay, this is going blue. This is going reddish. this is black. Why it is black? Because this is the most here. The light is 0%. Okay, that's why it is showing you black right now. Okay, if I will put light from this object, from this, see now it is turning a little bit reddish. You can see it is a little bit reddish. So if I will remove this, it will go to the dark red. See now the light is over this portion over here. So that's when the light is touching over here. This is making, it is going black and dark blue. So you should know this thing. I just want to tell you because I have learned this thing in my college after feeling a lot of, after applying all my shadow with dark black color. I understand that shadow are like black is not a color, and so if black is not a color, how the shadows are forming black? So I I just, when I understand that, I just understand that shadows, the depth is not of black color itself. It is the color of the object that the light is reflecting to. Okay, so this is that. Yes. So now come over here again. Okay, so as you have seen over here, this is our object. This is sun. Okay, so see now the thing is, this object it is not straight. Okay, because when it will be straight when the sun is over here. Sun will be here. Okay, but the sun is over here, so the object will be here. What I mean by the line or the object is, whenever you shade a sun, when the sun is over here, you shade it in this way, the shadow form in this way, and you tone it in this manner. Okay, so this is in the middle. Okay, so I will just give you an example, or I will show you a little bit of example. This sun, you shade it like this. Okay, sun is you and sorry, he. Okay, so this over here is your light. Okay, your second point, and this is connected over here. Okay, so whenever you will draw the shadow, it will form in this manner. Okay, so the shadow is going to form in this manner. Alright, I can just turn it over here. You are able to see, right? Okay. Now let me put the sun over here, the sun over this portion. The sun is over here and the shadow will be done like this. Okay, so okay, this continuing over here. Now this will connect to this will connect to this will connect to these, and these will connect to this. Okay, so now the shadow will form like this. It is that easy. Okay, so I can teach you again over here a little bit. Okay, so the light source is over here. So this is light source. Okay, so this thing will always touch this. Then only you will get the light. Okay, so if you are touching it if you are doing it like this, it is not the right thing. You have to do it over here. The thread should be touching the object. Alright, so as I have told you this line. Okay, so you can see this line over here, this portion over here. Okay, something like this, you can see. So this is what I'm talking about. Alright, okay, so over here again. So in earlier video I have talked about little bit, when the light is over here, the light little bit reflect over here in this portion, that is known as reflecting light. And so you can see over here as well little bit of reflecting light. Okay, sorry, here you can see reflecting light. This portion is known as reflecting light. Okay, so this shiny portion, you can see this effect comes from over here. You can see this is white, so this is reflecting over here, and this is making reflecting light. This is known as reflecting light. Okay, so you can see depth starting from here to here is also depth, but this shine is known as reflecting light. I can just turn this over here. Okay, so this you can see over here, this portion, this shining, this is also reflecting light. Okay, so what happens, how reflecting light is formed? Okay, so this is your light, this is your object. Just I will draw an apple, that apple over here. Okay, so as just see over here. Okay, this is depth, entire thing over here to here, it is depth, this is depth. Okay, but this portion here, you can see here it is reflecting light, this is light. I don't know how, see, if this is darkness, how light is showing over here. So this is reflected from here to here. Okay, so light jump, the light is sometimes jumps like this, but it also reflects in other ways also. Okay, so the light is coming from this portion, and when it is touching this object to here, it jumps. Okay, so sometimes, so it also jumps a little bit backwards. It doesn't jump backwards, it is the, when it jump, it throw a little bit reflection from here to here. So this thing form like this, and it is known as reflecting light. Okay, and now about the object that I was talking about. If this object is just a little bit green, so the light that is below the object will always so be dark green. DRAKGREN. Okay, it will be dark green. Okay, and it will also depend, okay, on the background or the foreground of the object. Okay, right now you can see reddishness over here because the object is white. Okay, if this object might be of other color, you will not see this reflecting light over here. I can show you example. So please don't mind my cloth, it is a watercolor cloth. So yeah, okay, see, now the light that is showing over here is not red. Okay, it is not red, you can see it is not red, it is blackish light. So we assume that it is black, but it is not. It is because the colors and all are relating to each other. Okay, the color of this cloth and this apple are relating with each other. Okay, but white is not a color. Okay, white and black are not colors. So that's why the shadow is red, because the object is reddish. Okay, so remember this part very carefully. So I will just talk this only in this object video. If you want, I can go with perspective, or if you want, I can make a new video on this topic, which will be much more easier way to speak. I can just something like that. Okay, so if you want, I can go with perspective the next topic. See, I'm not that famous, so I'm really sure about that many people are not going to watch this video. So that's why I have no motivation. That's why I don't make videos and all. So that is also a part in my downcoming and all. And that's it for the video. Thank you and have a nice day. Maybe the next topic is going to be perspective, or it's going to be a Lumicet method, because one person commented on my video to teach him Loomis method. So yeah, it can be Loomis method. In that video I can talk about how different types of method to draw face, like the box method, okay, or the Loomis method, or the freehand drawing. So that's, we can talk about that also. Or we can go with perspectives, or we can go with fundamentals of shadow itself again, in which I can give you a live example of shadow. So yeah, thank you for watching.